Hello, and welcome to Set for Smash Moveset Concept, where we look at the legacy of video game characters and see who has what it takes to join the battle. And this is our first character for our 6-part Fighter Pass in celebration of Smash Bros. 25th anniversary, as well as the 5th year anniversary of Smash Ultimate. Then what better way to start off than with a character people have requested for years now. And thanks to a specific game coming out last year, that possibility might finally come. I'm of course referring to Geno. Though the puppet is named Geno, the being that lives inside its body is in fact a star from Star Road. Unfortunately, his name is unpronounceable to the human language, so he refers to himself as the name of the puppet that belongs to a young toad that knocks out Mario. After a close encounter with one of the members of the Smithy gang, Mario jumps in to save Geno. He asks Mario's assistants to aid him on his quest to recover the 7 stars needed to fully rebuild Star Road, in order to save the wishes of the Mushroom Kingdom. All this from a classic SNES title in collaboration with Squaresoft, which would later be merged in with Enix to become Square Enix, in collaboration with Nintendo, Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars, or as it's known in its remake, Super Mario RPG. Not only being the first RPG that Mario's ever been a part of, but the one that would inspire titles such as Paper Mario and the Mario & Luigi series. Geno has been surprisingly a well-requested character for quite a long time. There's even an article where Sakurai even stated he wanted Geno to be put in Smash at some point. Even his Mii costume was available in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and later returned in Ultimate, along with the spirit of him. Before we can figure out whether or not he'll actually join the battle, let's see what this character from Beyond the Stars is capable of. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know we did alter a few things this time around with Set for Smash, as everything will be broken down into specific categories. The best way I can explain this is by starting to talk about the details, as we'll be talking about a lot of things that go into the details of how Geno would work in Smash Bros., and everything will be categorized based off those types of themes. To start off with, the series symbol would obviously be the mushroom for the Mario Bros. Series, as that's where he originated from. For his height, he's actually shorter than Mario. And the reason I went with this is not just because of how chibi all the characters look in Mario RPG, as I wanted to keep him as close to his original toy figure as I could. Though he is small in size, his stats definitely show otherwise. Being a wooden toy possessed by a star, he's a very light character, with above average speed, with above average jumping ability. Not to mention he's arsenal with many powerful weapons, giving him high attack power. Even though his attack power might be high, I made sure that he have a low defense and below average knockback ability, making Geno's fighting style similar to a glass cannon, or in this case, a wooden cannon. And to conclude our detail segment, when he enters the stage, you'll see the star that possesses Geno take form and get ready for battle. On to the next section with taunts, which of course will be breaking down into 3 different types. His first taunt will have him crossing his arms and nodding in front of the camera. For his second taunt, he nearly trips over himself as he still is not yet fully been accustomed to walking in his new form. And for his third taunt, he'll do a little dance in referencing when your other party members get a level up. Next up is the color palettes will be broken up of course into 8 color types, with his first being his default design, which will be blue and yellow. And this might be me thinking this out loud, but Geno's original design is strikingly similar to Final Fantasy's Black Mage, from the blue robe to the yellow aesthetic, and the fact that you don't really get to see the true form of this character. And trust me when I say that idea actually gave me this inspiration for some of the color palettes. But not the next one, as the second one will give him light blue and white attire, referencing the other party member you obtain, Mallow. Color palette 3 will actually give Geno a white and pink color palette, though this could be a reference to another character from Mario RPG. I actually made this one more in reference to the white mages of Final Fantasy, as mentioned before because Geno looks more inspired by the Black Mage. Color Palette 3 will give him a yellow and red attire, referencing characters like Belome and Bowyer. Color Palette 5 will give him a red and white attire, referencing Final Fantasy's Red Mage, as well as another Mario RPG character, Booster. Color Palette 6 will give him a dark blue and red attire, giving him the 2 variants of another Mario RPG character, Jonathan Jones. Color Palette 7 will actually give Geno a gray and white-ish attire with red eyes, referencing the replica boss variants found near the end of Mario RPG, as well as the main antagonist of the series, Smithy. And lastly, it'll give him purple and black attire, which is a reference to the secret boss of Mario RPG, as well as another Final Fantasy character, Kulex. And to wrap up this segment, we'll be talking about his victory animations. For Geno's first victory animation, he'll cross his arms and nod again and keep in that pose for a while, referencing when you defeat an enemy in Mario RPG. For his second victory animation, he'll actually hold his arm towards his heart, a reference to his level up animation in the HD remake of Mario RPG. And for his final victory animation, you'll see the 7 stars float around Geno, and the star will fly out of Geno and fly around the stars, referencing the ending of Super Mario RPG. However, if Geno is defeated, he'll only remain in doll form. While his animations are in play, his victory theme will be the Super Mario RPG victory theme, with the extra outro music included. Let's move on to the next segment where we talk about all of his standard attacks. Starting with his jab, it'll be the same 3-hit animation you see Mario use in the Mario RPG games, where it is a one-handed punch, an uppercut, and then another powerful punch. While his dash attack will actually have him trip on his feet and tackle the foe, again referencing his lack of mobility at the beginning of Mario RPG. For his side tilt, he uses a flying fist, referencing his attack animation when you have no items equipped. His up tilt will be an uppercut, in referencing to when he hit Bowyer when we were first introduced to him. For his down tilt, he'll be in a crouching animation, and then a small little BB gun will shoot out of his arm, shooting 3 tiny projectiles, referencing his equipable weapon, the handgun. For his smash attacks, his side smash will have him using the item known as the double punch, which will have him shoot both arms like they were rocket fists. His up smash will have him shooting an arm cannon with the beam shooting upward, this being one of his high-hitting knockback attacks, referencing the most powerful weapon in his arsenal, the Stella 023. For his down smash, he'll be using his weapon attachment known as the hand cannon, where he'll shoot an explosive weapon out of his elbow, but it will be in the animation style similar to Mega Man's down smash, where he'll be using both elbows. Moving on to his aerials, his standard aerial will have him spinning in a star shape, doing small flinching damage, which is good for characters that are up close as well as doing light combo damage. For his forward aerial, he'll use the item known as the finger shot, and shoot small little BBs similar to a spread shot. This is his weakest attack, but it's also very useful for keep off me tools. For his back aerial, he'll equip himself with a hand cannon again, and shoot the cannon behind himself out of his elbow. For his up aerial, he'll equip himself with the star gun, and he'll shoot upwards a shooting star that explodes in contact. He'll use the star gun again in his down aerial, but if you sweet spot it, you can even spike it. The animation is similar to Mega Man's down air. Moving on to his throwing animations, when he grabs a foe, he'll actually disconnect one of his arms, and then reattach his arm to grab hold of him. This is actually in reference to Mallow's long reach. While for his pummel animation, he'll start kicking foes. For his forward throw, he'll toss his foes with both hands and turn them into a giant projectile, referencing a move that Bowser does with Mario in Super Mario RPG. For his back throw, he'll give his foes a backhanded slap, sending him flying behind him, referencing the hitting animation for Princess Peach. His up throw will be a one-handed throw, and then he'll fire at his opponents with the handgun. And for his down throw, Geno will toss him to the ground and then use the finger shot on them. As you can see from his fighting style, Geno is a pretty ranged character, hence why I made him this glass cannon, or wood cannon, again. Now we move on to the final part of Geno's moveset, and the more important part of a character's fighting style, their special attacks. And obviously we begin with his standard special, which is the first move that Geno obtains, the Geno Beam. If you press the B button, Geno will shoot a small beam of energy, but if you press and hold the B button, Geno will fire out a much more powerful burst. However, this move cannot be charged, and is still a projectile item similar to Robin's Thoron. And obviously for the Kirby hat for the standard special, it'll be Geno's hat. For Geno's side special, it's the Geno Whirl, where Geno will shoot a disc of energy. But if you can actually time the B button when he launches it, you can actually get more knockback power depending on how quickly you time it, referencing the perfect timing moves and attacks. Don't worry, this won't do 999 damage, it'll just have more knockback ability. If you can time it perfectly, it'll make for great killing potential at high damages. For Geno's up special, it's the Geno Blast. How this will work as his up special, Geno will actually charge up his energy and then shoot a beam under him that'll launch him like a shooting star. The longer the charge, the higher you fly. And if you have it at fully charged, it even has the possibility to spike your foes. Though a lot of Geno's attacks would have timing as well as charge-based abilities, there's actually another way to access this type of power, which again involves charging, which would be a two-part variant of his down special. The first version is the Geno Boost. When you activate your down special, you'll notice a meter appearing under Geno. By pressing and holding down B, Geno will start boosting himself. If you fully charge this down B, the next special attack you use will be at max power. However, when you activate the Geno boost, you have to be very dedicated to using it, as you only get the boost when you fully charge the Geno boost. If you cancel out of it, you'll have to start all over again. But you're probably wondering, what happens if you use down B again after using Geno boost? Then you'll use Geno's other spell-based attack, which is also his ultimate spell, which is Geno Flash. Geno will transform into a cannon, and if you can time it perfectly, shoot a tiny little beam of energy that'll make a massive explosion, dealing high knockback power, working similarly to a fully charged Sephiroth standard special. To wrap up Geno's moveset, we have to look at his final smash, which I like to call Legend of the 7 Stars. This final smash is actually a combination of 2 different types of moves found in the remake of Mario RPG, which comes from the moves Star Rider and Shooting Star Triple Shot. When activating your final smash, Geno, through a rainbow of energy, will shoot towards the top of the stage, and the 7 stars will appear around him. He'll equip himself with the weapons known as the Star Gun and the Stella 023, where he'll rain down a massive beam of energy from the Stella 023 and meteorites of shooting stars from the Star Gun, working similarly to a combination of Lucario and Lucas's final smash, which are controllable. When the final smash ends, Geno returns to where he was, and the 7 stars reform back into 1. And with that, we have set for Smash Geno. Believe it or not, there was a point when I thought Geno was one of those characters I thought would never join Super Smash Bros. But after the announcement of the Mario RPG remake, and the fact that there are tons of Square Enix characters in Smash already, it's not a matter of if Geno is going to join Smash Bros., it's only a matter of when. And when that happens, trust me when I say, it'll be a dream come true. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're excited for our special Set for Smash Fighter Pass this year. I'll be making these moveset concepts on a bi-monthly basis. Though this will be the last you'll be hearing my voice until December on these moveset concepts, just note this ain't the end of Set for Smash, as there'll be 4 other characters taking in the voice role, as well as collaborating on how the next 4 characters will work. So, thanks for watching, and tune into the next moveset concept, with our first special guest.
Hello and welcome to Set for Smash Moveset Concept, where we look at the legacy of video game characters and analyze how they would play in Super Smash Bros. Welcome to our second moveset concept on this special Fighter Pass, where we feature our first special guest and their character of choice. Hey, this is PizzaDudeManGuy. I've done Smash speculation videos and moveset concepts on YouTube since 2009, and here is the character I've chosen for this moveset concept. For my personal moveset concept, I went with the original King of Darkness himself, Ganon. Though most people are familiar with his human form, Ganondorf, Ganon is the original antagonist of the Legend of Zelda series. Ganon has had many adaptations throughout the Zelda series, though most people know him through the beast-like transformation of the Demon King, with this adaptation more inspired by the Link to the Past timeline. His presence throughout the Zelda timeline has been to take the power of the Triforce and claim the world as his own, but his plans have been thwarted by the many reincarnations of the wielder of the Triforce of Courage, Link. As there are many versions of Link in Smash, it wouldn't be impossible for there to be another Ganon to join the battle. Can this variant of power be on the same level as his counterpart in Smash? Let's find out. Beginning with the details, the series symbol would of course be the Triforce from the Legend of Zelda series. His height would be on par with other big boss heavyweights like Bowser. Stat-wise, Ganon is built like a final boss, being one of the heaviest fighters in the roster. Wielding the Triforce of Power gives Ganon an above-average defense, making it hard to knock him off the stage and having the highest knockback in the game, with some moves having insane kill potential at low damage. But it comes at the cost of below-average attack damage, so he doesn't have many high damaging moves. Though Ganon hits like a boss, he moves like one too, with weak speed almost as bad as Incineroar and one of the worst jumps in Smash on par with Steve. When Ganon enters a stage, he rises from the ground cloaked in darkness, referencing the Game Over screen from Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. For his taunts, his first taunt will have Ganon exhale from his snout, having steam appear. His second taunt has Ganon drape his cape over his body. He's been shown to do this in a few of his boss fights. And for his third taunt, he drags his foot into the dirt like he is about to charge at the player. On to the color palettes, his default design will have him in his original design based on Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds. Color palette 2 will make him dark green with a brown cape based on Ganon from Ocarina of Time. Color palette 3 will gray out his color palette, referencing the darker color of Ganon in Twilight Princess. Color palette 4 will turn him brown with a red, referencing the Japanese exclusive BS Link to the Past version of Ganon. Color palette 5 will make Ganon dark blue with a purple cape, referencing his design from Four Swords Adventures. Color palette 6 will make him light purple with a black cape, referencing Yuga Ganon from Link Between Worlds. Color palette 7 will give Ganon a purple and pink design, based off the Dark Beast Ganon from Breath of the Wild. Lastly, color palette 8 will be a black and red design, based on the Demon Dragon from Tears of the Kingdom. Time to wrap up the details with the victory animations. Ganon's first victory animation lets him claim the Triforce in hand and laughs, claiming his spoils of victory. Ganon's second victory animation has him spin his trident and then wields it while making a menacing pose, similar to the shadow form in Link's Awakening. And for his last victory animation, Ganon pumps out his chest and makes a blood-curdling roar at the sky. The screen then turns a dark red, showing only Ganon's silhouette, a complete recreation of Zelda 2's Game Over, truly showing the Dark King has risen once again, while his victory theme will be playing the Zelda series theme. Moving on to the standard attacks, for his jab he'll strike out his palm, releasing a wave of dark energy, similar to Ganondorf's jab animation. Ganon's dash will have him go on all fours and do a headbutt upward, ramming his foes with his tusks, referencing the fact that Ganon is a boar-like creature. His side tilt will have Ganon thrust his trident forward, with the tip dealing the most damage. Ganon's up tilt will be similar to Palutena's, only higher as Ganon isn't the best at limbo. Ganon's down tilt will be like King K. Rool's, except he'll send his foes upward instead of bury them. For Ganon's side smash, Ganon swings his trident in a downward crescent, referencing his attack from the Oracle games. His up smash will have Ganon swing his trident around himself, similar to the Lynels found in Breath of the Wild. For Ganon's down smash, he stomps both feet on the ground. Ganon's standard aerial will have him slowly spin his trident with one hand in front of himself a couple times, leaving some of his body open for attack. His forward aerial will also be an upward crescent slash with the trident. While his back air, he'll turn and release dark energy from his trident-free palm. Ganon's up air will have him hold his trident with both hands and stab upward, while his down air will be a two-handed downward spear thrust, like Link's, but it does have a sweet spot strike. For their grabbing animations, he holds foes with one hand and jabs them by crushing them within his palm. His forward throw will be similar to Bowser's back in Melee. His back throw will have him toss his foe behind himself while dragging their face into the dirt. For his up throw, he throws his foe upward with his tusks. And for the down throw, Ganon slams his foe to the ground with one hand. Note, I should let you know that the tip of the trident does have the highest amount of damage potential, similar to Marth's tipping, meaning Ganon isn't the best when it comes to up-close combat, but by finding the perfect points of attack, you will feel like you truly wield the Triforce of Power. For Ganon's special attacks, for Ganon's standard special, he summons Blazing Bats. Ganon twirls his trident above himself, summoning a fiery cyclone. When the attack is unleashed, it can fire up to 7 blazing bats as projectiles, doing small flinching damage similar to Ridley that goes in a random 5-row line. If you hold the charge, it can add flame damage to trident attacks. The Kirby hat will have him wear Ganon's helmet, along with his ears, tusks, and snout. For Ganon's side special, we like to call it the Shadow Trident. When you use this move, Ganon will throw his trident like a boomerang, trapping anyone caught in small flinching damage. You can angle the throw, but if you hold the B button down, the trident will spin in place, knocking opponents away. Ganon remains frozen in a pose while doing this, falling in the air. If attacked, the trident snaps back to him, and when B is released, or by pressing B again, Ganon will teleport to his trident in a blur, with the classic sound effect playing. For Ganon's up special, he'll take his weapon for a Trident Spin. When airborne, Ganon will spin his trident like a propeller, sending himself flying upward that can also be moved in an upward diagonal. For comparison, he can go twice as high than Link's up special, though this is probably a last-ditch effort to get back on the stage, as he'll go into free fall right after. When on the ground, Ganon swings his trident in a cyclone up to 3 times, sending foes flying, especially at the tip of the trident. This is inspired by how he uses his trident in Four Swords Adventures. And for Ganon's down special, he'll take a page from one of Ganondorf's attacks, more specifically, one of his most iconic appearances as he wields the Power Sphere. Ganon shoots a ball of energy from his palm, if on the ground will fire forward, but in the air will be shot in a downward diagonal. This projectile has a unique trait compared to others, as the Power Sphere will bounce around the stage, ricocheting from the stage and platforms, so if anyone gets hit by the sphere, Ganon included, it will make a small electric explosion that will stun anyone near it. You can also detonate the sphere by pressing down B again, or it will go off on its own in around 10 seconds. Just know, this projectile can be deflected not just by counters, but also by perfectly timed hits, though that also means Ganon can also use this to his advantage, as it'll move faster every time the sphere is hit, referencing the confrontation against Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. For Ganon's final smash, he unleashes all of his power and lets out a massive roar that fires out a beam of energy in a downward angle, while he moves his head in an upward direction, causing the beam to move as well. Though it's similar to Samus and Dark Samus's final smash, its change in direction will catch foes by surprise, especially those up close towards the King of Darkness. With all this power unleashed, it makes sense to call his final smash Roar of Calamity. And with that, we have set for Smash, Ganon. Our Zelda lineup in Smash thus far has been the Triforce Trio with variants. However, Ganon's only playable form currently is the Captain Falcon-inspired Ganondorf, and that's such a veteran at this point, there's a lot of people who don't want an overhaul, yet there's also people like me who'd like to see a fully realized Zelda villain in Smash using all of their own powers. This concept kills 3 birds with 1 stone. We keep the Link, Zelda, and Ganon theme in Smash, we give Ganondorf a new playable form for the first time, and we get a fully unique, very important Zelda villain in SSB. I don't think this is necessarily a likely future addition, but it's an idea I've really come to love. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out some of the other content here on the AngelStar channel, from reviews of games and anime, or a look back at obscure media. While you're at it, be sure to check out my For Smash videos on my YouTube channel. I've been PizzaDudeManGuy, and be sure to check out the next Moveset concept.
Hello, and welcome to Set for Smash Moveset Concept, where we look at the legacy of video game characters and analyze how they would play in Super Smash Bros. Welcome to the midway point of the Special Guest Fighter Pass season, with our second special guest and their character of choice. Hey, I'm MonikaCinnyRoll. You probably know me as that crazy car VTuber or that annoying Inkling VTuber, but I'm a Crazy 3 VTuber, does way crazier content on my Twitch and YouTube. Be sure to check me out. And here is the character I've chosen for this moveset concept. My personal moveset concept of choice, I choose Kiryu. Cosmic Kiryu comes from the popular Yakuza series, or as it's known in Japan, the Like a Dragon series, which has been around since 2005. Kiryu has been a member of the Dojima clan since the 1980s. He's taken down many dangerous gangs and riffraff over the decades, giving him the nickname Dragon of Dojima. Due to the many accomplishments he's done within the Dojima clan, even in his 40s, he'll take down anyone who threatens those he cares about. So, will the mighty dragon have what it takes against the strongest Smash Bros. Has to offer? Let's find out. Beginning with the details. The series symbol will be a full silhouette version of the dragon style, where Kiryu has his iconic roundhouse kick. It is the most recurring image within the Yakuza series. Kiryu's height will have been taller than Marth, but with thicker torso. As for his stats, we'll talk about them later in his moveset. When Kiryu enters the stage, he starts by looking at the background and turns around and faces forward, ready like it's another street fight. For Kiryu's taunts, for his first taunt, he cracks his knuckles, trying to intimidate his foes. His second taunt, Kiryu does one of 3 different animal spirit taunts, where he does a stance and an aura of energy flows through him again. Again, we'll talk more about it later. And for Kiryu's third taunt, he does the dragon taunt. It makes sense this would be its own taunt as he is the Dragon of Dojima. Onto the color palettes. Kiryu's default design is his iconic white suit with red shirt, a design he's had since the first Yakuza game. Color palette 2 will still have him wear the white suit, but instead wear an orange shirt, a design based more on his outfit from Yakuza 0. Color palette 3 will have Kiryu wear black pants and a snakeskin suit with no shirt, an obvious reference to another iconic character from the Yakuza series, Goro Majima. Fun fact, if it wasn't Kiryu Kazuma, I would have had Majima instead. Color palette 4 will invest his color with a red suit and a white shirt, a reference to Ichiban Kasuga, the main character of the Like a Dragon series. Color palette 5 gives Kiryu a brown suit and white shirt, referencing Yoshitaka Mai. Color palette 6 will be a shirtless variant showing off Kiryu's iconic dragon tattoo. Color palette 7 is a second version of his shirtless palette, except he's wearing black pants, another reference to Najima. Lastly, color palette 8 will have an older version of Kiryu in black pants, with a black button-up shirt, based on his recent design from the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Wrapping up the details, we have the victory animations. Kiryu's first victory animation will have him do his iconic roundhouse kick, holding the foot in the air, even in victory. His second victory animation, Kiryu dusts himself off from the fight as he's used to getting into random fights at his age. And for his last victory animation, Kiryu turns around and throws his shirt off, revealing his dragon tattoo, letting his foes know that you just messed with the Dragon of Dojima. While posing his victory theme will be what can be considered the theme of Cosmic Hero Receive You. Moving on to standard attacks, his jab will be a 1-2 punch, then he'll kick twice in a 4-hit combo. His dash will have Kiryu do a drop kick where he'll jump and raise both feet forward. Kiryu's side tilt will have him perform a single kick thrust forward, while his up tilt will have Kiryu do his iconic upward roundhouse kick. His down tilt will have Kiryu perform a leg sweep, referencing the rising sweep, as the name implies, causes his foes to go upward. For Kiryu's side smash, he'll do a spinning roundhouse kick that can angle up or down. His up smash will have Kiryu swing his fist in an upward uppercut, though this move only works in front of Kiryu, meaning it's easy to dodge if you're behind him. Kiryu's down smash will leave him smash his fist to the ground, causing a shockwave around him. It doesn't do tons of damage, but it's useful when dealing with crowd control. His standard aerial will be similar to Little Max, having him punch a single fist in a downward diagonal angle. His forward aerial will be a weaker version of his roundhouse kick, while the back aerial will be a backward axe kick. His up aerial is similar to Hero's, where he'll kick upwards, but with better knockback. And his down aerial will have Kiryu do the crushing hammer, where he makes his hands into a ball and slams both hands downward. This move will cause spiking. For Kiryu's grabbing animation, he holds his foes with one hand and jabs by punching them right in their face. For his forward throw, Kiryu sends his foes flying by kicking them right in the stomach. For his back throw, Kiryu turns around and judo flips his foe over his shoulders. For Kiryu's up throw, he picks up his foe with both hands and slams him into the ground, sending them flying upward. And for Kiryu's down throw, he slams his foe's face into the ground and kicks them right in their teeth, sending his foe flying forward. Moving on to Kiryu's special attacks, this is where Kiryu becomes more complicated of a character to make a moveset for. Starting with his standard special, where it's simply called Battle Stance, by tapping the B button, you can change from one of 3 different stances based on the 3 types in the Yakuza series. Holding B will allow you to select which stance you want to choose, similar to Shulk's Minato arts. By changing your stances, you'll also be changing the stats on Kiryu based on the 3 stances. Brawler stance is the blue aura wielding an all-round stance for Kiryu, balancing out almost all of his stats, with the only stat that doesn't change being his weight, which is above average. Everything from attack, defense, knockback, and speed are all of the same stat-wise, and the only exception being his jump, which unfortunately is weak, making it the weakest of the 3 stances. This makes Kiryu a strong all-rounder, with bad jumping ability similar to Lil Mac. Rush stance gives Kiryu's aura pink, making him a more speedy brawler, giving him above average speed and attack power, along with averaging out his jumping. But the cost of weak defense and knockback, making Kiryu's attacks become faster, and turning his jab into a multi-hitting kick barrage. And finally, B stance, making Kiryu's aura yellow, turning him into a grappler. Changing Kiryu's fist attacks and hand swipes and palm strikes. B stance gives Kiryu high knockback but at the cost of making the rest of his stats below average, but is great for KOing foes, especially with his throws. By giving Kiryu different stances, we've basically given a way to represent the fast-paced action and combo strategy of the Yakuza games. Though it might not show as much as his standard attacks, his specials are another story. Also, you can choose which stance you want to play beforehand in the character select. When Kirby consumes Kiryu, it will give him Kiryu's hair, eyebrows, and goatee. Kiryu's side special is the Dragon Dash, where depending on the stance, we'll have Kiryu dash forward and do one of the following attacks. Brawler stance has the shortest dash, but the highest knockback as he charges his fist forward. Rush stance has decent amount of distance, making Kiryu strike 5 consecutive punches while dashing, similar to Mithra's Photon Edge. And B stance goes the farthest and turns into a command grab, similar to Kiryu's charging bear hug. He dashes forward and any foes caught in his grasp will be suplexed into submission. Even crazier, not only does Kiryu get super armor against light attacks, but if a physical item is near him, like a sandbag, crate, or even villager's chopped tree, it will be caught in Kiryu's grasp and used as a battering ram until he destroys it by throwing it on the ground. If he grabs a foe in the air, he'll suplex himself and his foe downward. Kiryu's up special is called the Dragon's Grip. This move is a command grab that works similar to Captain Falcon's up special, with one of the major differences being that you can choose what direction you move before you move. Depending on which stance you're in, Kiryu will do one of the following attacks. Brawler stance is the weakest jump and has Kiryu dashing with both hands in a fist. Anyone caught will get both fists sandwiched between them and then uppercuts his foe using his knee. Rush stance has the highest jump in Kiryu's moveset and has him dash ready to grab someone, and when someone is grabbed, he'll do an uppercut kick, sending both him and his foe upward. And B stance is slightly better than Brawler's variant, but only if successful. When a foe is caught, Kiryu will spin them around up to 3 times while giving Kiryu upward mobility until he tosses them away, similar to Link's up special. If no one gets caught in Kiryu's grasp, he'll go straight into free fall. If he does catch a foe, he doesn't go into free fall, but he can't use his up special again. And for Kiryu's down special, it's the Dragon's counterattack. This is a basic counterattack like Marth or Sora's. If you get hit by a projectile encounter, Kiryu will automatically dodge the attack. But if he's struck with a physical move, Kiryu will counter based on the following stances. Brawler stance is the fastest counter of them all, as Kiryu will immediately sock the foe after dodging his attack. Rush stance is an automatic dodge that will make Kiryu sidestep behind his foes, leaving them open to an attack of choice or a plan of escape. And lastly, B stance, of course, turns his counter into command grab, where he'll grab the foe and he'll spin and toss them or physical projectiles if thrown at him. Kiryu's final smash is a move from Yakuza Like a Dragon, known as Essence of the Dragon God. Kiryu kicks forward and anyone who gets hit will be entered into a cinematic, where Kiryu enters his legend stage and starts bringing the smackdown on his opponents until he unleashes a powerful kick that summons a mighty dragon, crashing into his foes, sending them flying. This move can hit up to 3 people and will automatically knock out anyone at over 100% of damage. And with that, we have set for Smash, Kiryu. Personally, I think Kiryu is important not only as just a fighting character, but the fact that he's very important to gaming overall. Being a Sega property, I mean, they have Sonic in there, so why not have Kiryu? Personally, this might start some controversy, but I feel like Kiryu is more fit to be in there than the likes of someone like Goku. As much as I like Goku, Kiryu is very important to the gaming scene. Even crazier how the Yakuza series has evolved over time, with the 2 newest installments being kind of a mix-up of both Yakuza playstyle and things like turn-based RPGs. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check some of the other content here on the AngelStar channel, from reviews of games and anime, or a look back at obscure media. While you're at it, be sure to check out my Twitch streams and videos on my YouTube as well. I'm MonikaCinnyRoll, and be sure to check out the next Moveset concept.
Hello and welcome to Set for Smash, Moveset Concept, where we look at the legacy of video game characters and analyze how they would play in Super Smash Bros. Welcome to our next Moveset concept on this special Fighter Pass, where we feature special guests and their character of choice. And for this one, hey all, This is Pyrr, head of the channel designing for. For the past couple years, we've broken down characters, levels, movesets, you name it about video games, and tried to figure out exactly what they wanted to bring out in players. We've done a couple of Smash Brothers movesets in there too, namely what King K. Rool and Solid Snake do as Smash characters to bring out their personality, playstyle, and, well, character. Now, I'm lucky enough that my all-time favorites have found their way into Smash, but there are more than a couple that I'd love to see join the fight with their overwhelming charisma. And for a character I'd love to see get the Smash treatment, my moveset concept choice...
Objection!
For my personal moveset concept, I choose Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright, or Nick for short, originates from the Ace Attorney series, a series of lawyer drama murder mystery visual novels, which began on the Game Boy Advance in 2001 in Japan, but most are more familiar with the enhanced version on the DS from 2005. Its unique mechanics, enjoyable visuals, great writing, and off-the-wall characters have made it one of Capcom's most unique games in their library and beloved by millions over. But here's the biggest question. Can we make a moveset for this oddball lawyer and make his case for Smash Brothers? Well, let's find out. I'll let you know that when making this moveset, we did our best to make sure this felt strongly within the Ace Attorney framework. Though we do have a couple moves inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom 3, we steered clear from making a moveset using any of its mechanics. Now, it's a great moveset for a traditional fighting game, don't get me wrong. But purposefully keeping an opponent away behind shields as you look for your win condition, when translated to a platform fighter, is a little competitive Sonic, you know? I want Phoenix to be lame in gameplay. We also tried to marry both the courtroom and investigation scenes into the moveset. And with that out of the way, let's start with the series symbol, which is the shine found on all of the title cards in the Ace Attorney games. Sparkly. Phoenix's height is on par with Marth, as they're canonically close to about the same height, with Phoenix being 5'9" and Marth being 5'11". Now, statistically, Phoenix Wright is a bit of an oddball. His weight is above average compared to standard fighters, but his speed is below average because it just ain't that easy running around all these environments in a full suit. His attack stat is overall pretty weak, for the obvious reason of his games not having any combat whatsoever, but he's got average defense to balance out that lack of power and mobility. Yeah, it's a defense lawyer, he's gotta be okay at that. But all these traits are made up for with very high knockback, making him great for keeping foes away and cleaning out that stock when he gets the opening. And to round it off, he's got 2 below average jumps. For an entrance, the courtroom doors appear in the background, revealing Phoenix Wright. Comes out and says, "The defense is ready." For Phoenix's taunts, Nick's first taunt is him and his thinking foes, probably pondering how he even got here. For his second taunt, he'll have his assistant, Maya Fey, cheering him on in the background, similar to how Rex and Morgana function. And for his third taunt, he does that "aw shucks" pose, surprised at how well he's holding his own with the likes of Kirby. Onto the color palettes. His default design will be his original dark blue suit from the classic trilogy. Color palette 2 sees him in his more modern light blue design from Dual Destinies. Palette 3 has his classic design in a red suit with a white tie, an obvious reference to his ongoing rival, or more, Miles Edgeworth. Color palette 4 is his modern design with a green jacket and tan fixins as a reference to Detective Gumshoe. Color palette 5, classic design with an orange suit and denim colored pants, referencing childhood friend Larry Butts. Color palette 6, we go back to the modern design with a yellow jacket and pants, referencing Athena Sykes, the newest addition to the series and overall an underrated character. According to AngelStar, guess what, I agree. We considered using Apollo here, but we felt that the color palette fit a bit too close to Edgeworth. Didn't see any reason to particularly remove Phoenix's jacket. And no, we just like Athena. Color palette 7 is his classic design with an all-black suit, a reference to both Von Karma and Phoenix's teacher, Mia Fey. And our last color palette will be an alternate from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where he's wearing a gray sweat jacket, pants, and a light blue hoodie. Wrapping up the details, we got the victory animations. For Phoenix's first victory animation, the judge appears and gives his not guilty verdict. Phoenix making a sigh of relief that leads him into his aw shucks pose. Maya also cheers for Nick in the background while throwing confetti around, because you can't get a non-guilty verdict without a rain of confetti, baby. His second victory animation, you get an up-close look at his attorney's badge. Then the screen zooms out, showing Phoenix messing with that suit, and he does a victory pose. And for the last animation, Phoenix and Maya do the Steel Samurai pose together. However, Maya's a bit overzealous and keeps getting in front of Phoenix as his name appears. Maya holds the pose, and Phoenix just tries to poke his head out from behind Maya during the rest of the animation. His victory theme is the original Pursuit theme, as this is the most recurring musical motif of the series and has been used in his other crossover appearances. Moving on to standard attacks, starting with his jab, Nick brings out some paperwork and smacks it up to 3 times. He's not really punching out or anything so much as he is just kinda reviewing the facts and you happen to be there. His dash attack shows him doing a shoulder tackle, which is a surprising commonality through the series when Phoenix has to bust open a door. Phoenix's side tilt shows him doing his iconic pointing pose. For the up tilt, Phoenix runs his fingers through his hair, making the spikes on it especially pointy and doing some slicing damage. And for his down tilt, he swipes at the ground as if he's trying to look for some evidence down there. As for Phoenix's smash attacks, his side smash sees him taking out his cell phone, and a loud noise comes out of the phone. Probably someone he knows screaming at him. When charging up the attack, you can hear the phone ringing while he's scrambling through his pockets trying to find it. The up smash sees Phoenix straightening his spine as he gives a look of shock. While leaning back fully, his hair spikes also deal damage. And for his down smash, Phoenix brings out a metal detector and puts it first in front of him and then behind him, trying to find something. Going on to his aerials, starting with the standard, Phoenix goes into a panic, scratching his head and flailing his legs. It's useful as a good get-off-me tool when he's in quite a pickle. His forward aerial is the same as his side tilt, where he points toward the foe. Feels wrong not having that in there where we can fit it in, you know? Now for his back aerial, papers fly out of the back of Phoenix's jacket and he makes a surprised look. All the papers dealing a little bit of slashing damage as they flutter down before blowing away. The up aerial sees Phoenix whip out that metal detector again upward, with the top of the detector dealing some electrical damage. Always useful if you use that in just the right spot, huh? And for the down aerial, Phoenix smacks both of his hands under him, a reference to how he slams his hands on the desk when he's making a point in the courtroom. And the move spikes. As for Phoenix's grabbing animations, Phoenix actually grabs his foes using Missile, a Shiba Inu given to Phoenix by Detective Gumshoe for a specific case. Missile grabs with his teeth and pummels by tightening his jaws while Phoenix is trying to pull back his leash. Certainly apologizing. Missile's not usually like this. Now, I personally proposed for this idea for his moveset, mostly due to Missile being based on Shu Takumi, the creator of Ace Attorney's own pet dog, and if he can sneak his dog into every project he can, who am I to break the chain? Forward throw will have Phoenix accidentally let go of the leash, and Missile will headbutt the foe. For the back throw, Phoenix tugs the leash and falls on his back, accidentally sending the foe flying behind him. Missile is okay, just to let you know. For Phoenix's up throw, he gets a Phoenix Wright idea and an exclamation point appears above him. That then knocks the opponent upward and the exclamation point explodes. This is a cute reference to the original penalty animation from the first Ace Attorney game. Missile, of course, just sits and watches because he's a good boy. And for the down throw, Missile runs around the foe, tying his leash around them and causing them to trip. Missile then runs away and disappears. Moving on to the special attacks. Phoenix Wright's standard special is both simple yet complicated, as it differs depending on how you hit the special button and how it can be utilized with Phoenix's other special attacks. The first part of his standard special is Examine. By tapping the special button, Phoenix brings out a magnifying glass, and if an opponent, item, or projectile comes into contact with him, they'll be put into evidence. with projectiles and items being stored away in the court record, while foes will have only their icon appear and take small flinching damage. Phoenix can hold up to 3 different pieces of evidence in his court record at a time. If you hold special, you can have Phoenix sift through his court record with left or right, choosing which one is active, including an empty space. Now this is very important, as evidence is the key to victory for Phoenix Wright. Not just to his moveset, but to Ace Attorney as a whole. Evidence can be used in a couple of other special attacks, including his standard special again by either double tapping the special button or choosing your evidence and then immediately tapping afterward. Examine then becomes more like present. For projectiles and items, they work very similarly to how you'd expect Villager's Pocket to work. But if it's evidence with a character icon, Phoenix will fire off a projectile text bubble of "Take that!" that will auto-lock on to whoever he's got in evidence for a short time. Note that this is a projectile, so as usual, Phoenix's words can be turned right back at him with the right reflection. The Kirby hat is, of course, Phoenix's spiky hair. As a cute detail, when Kirby is looking through documents, you can see some cute crayon drawings. Phoenix's side special is Cross-Examine. If you activate it, Phoenix will enter a thinking pose, and if he's hit by an attack, will have the words "Hold it!" appear. When hit by these words, foes will take damage and be temporarily stunned. Projectiles, however, will literally freeze in place for Nick to either dodge or turn into evidence with Examine. And speaking of evidence, this is where it gets to really shine. If you've got an opponent's icon in your evidence, and you use your side special again, well, you could tell them to hold it! And if they're in roughly auto-reticle range, they immediately get hit by the stun, giving Phoenix time to plan his next attack or freeze his opponent in order to get back on the stage. But at the cost of removing that valuable piece of evidence to harass them with. Speaking of recovery though, now Phoenix's up special was the hardest concept to make for him, mostly due to the fact that there wasn't a real way to fly in the Ace Attorney games. Unless you want to reference Turnabout Big Top, but no. So instead, we based it more on the humor of Ace Attorney, with his up special, Flu Season. By pressing up special, Phoenix can let out a large sneeze, knocking him upward. The move able to be charged for higher distance and higher knockback. But Phoenix will not go into freefall after sneezing. That's because a lawyer doesn't give up even if he's got a cold. And because Phoenix has no other recovery options, so he needs all the help he can get. After using this move, he cannot use it until he has reached the ground. The man has tremendous luck, but he's not getting it twice in a row. And for Phoenix Wright's down special, he uses his Magatama to see an opponent's Psych Lock. For this move to work, either you have to get close to an opponent in order to reveal their locks, or if you have the foe in your evidence, you will automatically reveal their locks when you choose their evidence with Examine, and then use your down special at the cost of removing it from evidence. When the Psych Lock is visible, an opponent's movement slows down for a short period of time, the weight of their guilt causing them to play a little more cautiously. But if Phoenix uses Present or Cross-Examine, that lock will automatically be destroyed for a big chunk of damage. Cause nothing hurts more than the truth itself. This gives Phoenix a great dynamic where he can chase opponents down and gets the choice between them taking a huge chunk of damage with his down special or setting up for the kill with his side special. But it all depends on having the right evidence at the right moment. For Phoenix Wright's final smash, it makes sense to be an important part of the Ace Attorney series, as Phoenix Wright takes the fighters to court with the final turnabout. When Phoenix begins his final smash, he begins the final cross-examination as he says that iconic phrase, "Objection!" Only one foe can be caught in this, but if hit, the opponent will be put into a cinematic. The scene reveals the iconic courtroom, flashing, showing the foe on the witness stand, the judge, and finally, Phoenix Wright, as he points at the foe in the witness stand while the judge has the menacing look, similar to the one in Nick's Nightmare from Ace Attorney 2. The reveal of their guilt puts them in a shocked animation, giving them massive damage. But if the foe is at 100%, the word guilty appears in front of them, and they instantly lose a stock. The cinematic ends with a giant gavel slam, knocking away any nearby foes and referencing that court has been adjourned. And with that, we have set for Smash Phoenix Wright. Now frankly, I think Phoenix is a hilarious character to put in a fighting game. His body language is fantastic, and having a guy with his insane luck fumbling his way through a fight using moves that barely even resemble fighting is great. But more than that, Phoenix's place in gaming is so unique and important. His series might lean into detective, adventure game style drama rather than a pure visual novel experience, but he was still a major factor of anything even resembling a visual novel finding success outside Japan. Nick's got a worldwide presence that no other VN adjacent character can really match. And the ebb and flow of each Ace Attorney game is so addictive as you get one step of a case figured out and then are immediately put on the back foot. And the ridiculous pop-offs you get from figuring out that insane logic and finally hitting a witness behind their impregnable facade is indescribably satisfying. I think bringing that energy to Smash, that comedic styling, that constant setup, and that final objection when the opponent is weakened enough to send him flying is both something that Smash is lacking in an effective and consistently engaging form, and he's fun, okay? I just think he's really fun. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out some of the other content here on the AngelStar channel, from reviews of old games and anime, or a look back at obscure media. And don't forget to check out his character choice for the Set for Smash Fighters Pass season finale. While you're at it, be sure to check out my channel, Designing 4, where we break down the inner meanings of video game characters, mechanics, and lore. And be sure to check out the next Moveset concept. See ya!
Hello and welcome to Set for Smash Moveset Concept, where we look at the legacy of video game characters and analyze how they would play in Super Smash Bros. And welcome to our 5th Fighter Pass season finale, not honoring 5 years of Set for Smash, but also 25 years of Super Smash Bros. But before we talk about our next Moveset Concept character, I want to personally again thank PizzaDudeManGuy, MonikaCinnyRoll, and Pyrr from Designing 4, not only just to be a part of this video project series, but also to give their character choices of they wanted to see in Smash Bros., as well as make sure that I'm representing their video game series and their characters as a whole in their moveset concepts, as I wasn't really that familiar with the Yakuza series or Ace Attorney until the making of these videos. So if you haven't checked those concepts out yet, or the Geno one I made for the fans, make sure to watch those in the Set for Smash playlist, or when I release the full version, early next year. With all that said, who's the character I decided to choose for Set for Smash? Well, as you can probably see who I chose for this final character, we're wrapping up the season with a choice that's either controversial or a legacy in the making, Master Hand. If you get to know who this person is, Master Hand is the final boss of the Super Smash Bros. Series, meaning he originated in Super Smash Bros. And is basically the main reason why all of our favorite Nintendo franchises, and now a legacy of video game fighters, and over the past 25 years, Master Hand is trying to take control of the universe of Smash Bros., only to be thwarted again and again. Maybe it's about time that Master Hand finally fought on an equal playing field. Can we make a point to see whether or not this final boss of this certain franchise can join the battle? Let's find out. Starting with the details. The series symbol obviously is the Super Smash Bros. Symbol. As we talk more about the details of Master Hand, I will let you know, in order for Master Hand to find on equal ground with our fighters, he will not be in his original form, but instead take a weaker appearance to sort of be on equal footing, as he will be one of the bigger characters in the roster, being roughly as tall as Ridley standing up, and also having probably one of the most balanced stats in Smash Bros., as he actually perfectly balances all of his stats, though at above average. Even though Master Hand plans on fighting him on equal ground, he'd always have an extra trick up his finger to make sure his stats were still above average compared to other fighters. He's still fighting on equal ground, meaning he'll still only have 2 jumps and no other movement options. Just because he's a little bit of an overachiever doesn't mean he's a full-fledged master of his attacks. When he enters from a stage, he flies in just like he does in the original Smash Bros. Series. Moving on to his taunts, Master Hand's first taunt is a hand gesture of saying, "Come on," the same one he uses when he's asking Crazy Hand to punch him. His second taunt, he shakes his hand a little bit. I mean, being a sentient hand, he must get cramps from time to time. And for his third taunt, he points forward at the foe. Moving on to his color palettes, his default design is his iconic white glove. Though I am using the original N64 render, odds are they'll probably use his more modern take that originated in Melee. Though I do like the original version, and I think that would be kind of cool if they made that more of an homage to Master Hand fighting on equal terms. His second color palette will make his entire glove body part turn red. His third will turn him blue. His fourth will turn him green. His fifth will turn him yellow. And his sixth one will turn him gray. The color palettes I just represented were actually the original color palettes of Smash Bros. For players 1 through 4, and the gray one representing the CPU choice. Color palette 7 will actually turn Master Hand light blue, referencing the leader of the Subspace Emissary, Tabuu. And for his final color palette, Master Hand will be pure black, representing characters like Darkon, as well as representing the shadows of the Master Core. And for his victory animations, his first will have him do his evil cackle, while his fingers do creepy twitches. For his second victory animation, he'll do a 3, 2, 1, and then snap his fingers, a reference to the original opening of the classic Super Smash Bros. Title. And for his final victory animation, he gives himself a thumbs up. Not to the opponents who did their best, but for himself, obviously. As for the victory theme, I think Smash Bros. Will use another original theme based off the series. But for now, we'll use the victory theme for the Miis when they win a battle in Smash Ultimate. Moving on to the standard attacks, Master Hand's jab will actually have him poke up to 3 times with his pointing finger, based on one of his original moves from the original Super Smash Bros. But they are only based off the attacks and do not have the same attributes or effects. I should let you know in advance, all the moves that will be used are inspired by all of the attacks that Master Hand currently use, so you could say it's Master Hand trying to use his old attacks with none of his other additional bells and whistles. For his dashing animation, he'll do his iconic finger walk and use his index finger to kick the opponent. And if you're wondering, yes, when Master Hand is dashing, he will do the finger walk. Next are his tilts. For his side tilt, he'll use the slap attack, turning his entire hand into a giant slap, though it won't go as far as the original one. For his up tilt, it'll be a full-fledged original where he swings his pinky upwards, almost looking like he's doing hang loose. I chose this because there's actually no real moves where Master Hand actually uses his pinky finger, and I feel like it needed to be included in some way, as I couldn't really use the ring finger or the middle finger for obvious reasons. And for his down tilt, he'll use his hand sweep attack, but only once. Moving on to his smash attacks, his side smash will have him ball his hand into a fist and then slightly dash a little forward, doing a forward punch. His up smash, he actually puts his thumb in his grip and then he swings out his thumb upward, similar to flipping a coin. And for his down smash, it's the paper crush. Master Hand will turn his fist into a ball downwards, and then he'll raise it up, only to turn into a giant hand, then smack down. Next are his aerials, with his standard aerial being a finger snap. His forward aerial will actually have him swing his pointing finger forward, similar to his chakram attack. For his back aerial, it'll be an original, where Master Hand will swing his body backwards, and the major hitbox will be his giant thumb, almost like he's hitchhiking. His up aerial will be an upward swipe, as if he's trying to swat the air like a giant cat. And for his down aerial, it'll be his iconic Drill Attack. Well, he'll strike down and spin, doing rapid damage. And remember, this is a weakened version, so it will not have a vacuum. The move doesn't spike, but if any characters who get caught on him will be caught in combo damage. For his grabbing animations, he grabs foes with, well, his hand, and he pummels by tightening his grip. His forward throw has him crush his foes so hard they actually fly out of his hand. His back throw causes him to throw from behind, a common animation he uses. The up throw has Master Hand throwing him like a ball, similar to the moves Ball Roll and Paintball. And for his down throw, he throws the character downwards, causing an automatic spike. But unlike Melee Fox, you cannot throw your characters off the edge of a stage. But it is a great kill move at high damage. Moving on to the special attacks. And as an obvious choice for his standard special, it's of course the Finger Gun. By pressing only the B button, Master Hand will shoot finger bullets from the tip of his fingers. The longer the charge, the more you'll fire. With that max, you can shoot 3 bullets. And if hit by a foe, will cause a small explosion. The Kirby hat for Master Hand will be a giant glove on his hand, but when he uses his standard special, Kirby will actually use it like a weapon. For Master Hand's side special, it's the Flower Grip. This is basically a command grab. Master Hand will enter a grabbing state. If a foe is caught, they'll be caught in a single pummel. But the higher damage, the more pummels you obtain. If hit successfully with the pummel, a flower will appear on an opponent's head, causing temporary poisoning. If hit up to 3 times, Master Hand will gently put them down and cause characters to sleep, giving Master Hand a golden opportunity to strike when the heat is down. For Master Hand's Up Special, it's another iconic move, Airplane. He shapes his fingers into a plane. Master Hand will launch away like a rocket, though the move has to be charged if you want to get farther distances. And after the rocket launches, you can use the analog stick to freely control where Master Hand goes for a limited amount of time. If you're still in the air after your attack ends, Master Hand will go into free fall. And for Master Hand's down special, it's the Finger Beam, another iconic move Master Hand's had since Melee. Though the original one was always annoying to either get hit by or really easy to dodge, Master Hand can only shoot the fingers for a limited amount of time, and it's always in random spots. Since this is a weaker variant compared to the original, the only damage you'll get from this attack is only chip damage, meaning no characters will get stunned from the attack. You can hold the B button to make the attack last longer, but that'll still leave Master Hand open to an attack. And to wrap up this moveset concept, we have Master Hand's Final Smash, which is the Master Core. When this Final Smash activates, Master Hand will summon the Master Core from its body, and then with the power of his own grip, he tightens the core in his hand, causing an explosive wave of energy. This move works similarly to Taboo's penultimate move, as well as the original concept of Master Core, as a last-ditch effort if you don't actually KO the core, as it'll shoot a giant wave of energy that if get hit, you'll get sent flying with a good chunk of damage. But at a high enough damage, you will be sent flying and lose a stock. And with that, we have set for Smash, the one and only Master Hand. Though some people think this is a wasted slot of a character, when you could choose from another variety of characters that could make it for Smash Bros. But I think that now, since Smash Bros. Is considered a major gaming legacy, as well as a crossover of a legacy of major video games, it makes the most sense now that Master Hand should be playable in the future. Plus, every Smash game, there's always a brand new gimmick to go with Master Hand. With Melee, they added Crazy Hand. Brawl, they added a story mode. Smash 4, they added a lot of interesting gimmicks, especially the Master Core. And Ultimate allowed you to actually play as Master Hand, but only once per save file. Never understood why you couldn't play it more than once. There are going to be tons of other Nintendo characters a lot of people would want more than Master Hand, but there are generally those who've always wanted to play as Master Hand from the very beginning, from the multitude of mods you can find for later titles of the series, and people were really excited to play as Master Hand for the very first time, besides using a special little cheat found in Melee. Though I don't know if he'll be in the next Smash game, his time to join the battle on equal footing, or in this case on equal hands, will come sooner than you think. Thanks for watching, and with that, we are done with our Set for Smash Fighters Pass 5th year anniversary special. Again, I want to thank the special guests who were part of this Set for Smash Fighters Pass, and to the fans who loved watching these videos. And I hope you're excited to see what Fighter Pass 6 has in store. Though if you're wondering who to see in the next moveset concept, well, it's for you to decide next time.